Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic that I have for us this week, I do like to say if you'd like to know one or two things about our community, Life for Living Well, please sign up on our website with your email and you will be the first every time we release an article on the website. And if you also every time we publish the podcast, like you listen to right now, you will also be able to get a notification from the website. Most especially our website, we have various books written by members and recommended for a member. And if you would like to take a look at some of our bookshops and see the books you could read, we don't sell the book directly. You can find it in your uh, different platform that you like to get the book from, but we have some very helpful books if it's personal development is something that you really like to embrace or add to your life. So let's get into our topic for this week without taking much of your time. So once again, my name is Richard and I will be your anchor for this week. So the topic that I have this week is what I call unmeasurable richness, the wealth money cannot buy. And why this topic? And I think it is the time that we bring this topic back. At one point, maybe 3 years ago, we uh, we we handle similar topic like this, and we just feel so touched to revisiting some of our topics by looking at it again and reflecting on it. So why inner peace, self-reliance, and acceptance matter more than status or income? So these are the things that we wanted to look at. Because sometimes when you talk about richness, wealth, we easily want to focus on tangible things, things that we can feel, things that we can give us some assurance by just focus on money alone. But this topic is looking into all round. And so this particular podcast can a little bit longer than our usual podcast. So as we normally do, we take one individual message that is so inspirational to us and we build around it. And for this particular podcast, we'll be taking from Cesare Pavese, and he put it this way: the richness of life lies in memories we have forgotten. So it worth me repeating again. The richness of life lies in memories we have forgotten. How many people remember their childhood? How many people remember how many initiative, creativity that they took to solve a problem when they are a child? How many people remember that all their fears in the childhood has not come to pass in the adult stage? So when we hear the word rich, most of us immediately think of money. Society has conditioned us to equate wealth with income, asset, status, and influence. But if I tell you that this definition is very narrow and often damaging, it explains why so many people chase success relentlessly only to feel empty when they finally achieve it. You could see people put all their energy, 80% of their energy, to chase 20% of what they really need. And once they achieve that, they never feel satisfied with it because they have what I call mirror tunnel. thinking. And you cannot give what you don't have. So you're limited based on what your mind conceives. And you never ask or validate it, whether it's erroneous beliefs. You just believe it. And you start living according to your beliefs. Even if it is erroneous belief, you have not done anything to evaluate it, to challenge it, to question it. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, arts provide enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. And this is where the world have lost it, in my opinion. And we are all victims of it, one way or the other. Even Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich ranked money only 12 among the many forms of riches available to us. Yet we continue to measure our worth using the most superficial metric available. So, what does unmeasurable richness really look like? So, let's take a look. The richest society often ignores. It is not uncommon to read about a celebrity with status, fame, and fortune who struggled deeply with unhappiness. External success does not guarantee internal wealth. Unmeasurable richness cannot be deposited into a bank account, but it determines the quality of your life. Here are 5 powerful forms of wealth that cannot be quantified. Number 1, loveliness. Can you take this to the bank and say you are more rich when you are in this zone because you have more opportunity, keys to open the doors that will bring the physical wealth that you focus your attention to. So, what did that mean by loveliness? Accepting your own beauty. True richness begins with self-acceptance. And Confucius even agree with it. He stated, everything has its beauty, but not everyone sees it. Loveliness is not vanity. It's recognizing your inherent worth without comparison. And what is causing a lot of emotional turmoil for a lot of people is always comparing your chapter 2 of somebody else's chapter 10 or 20 just because of the age. You might be older than them, they might be older than you. You might born the same time, or you might went to the same school. And you think because you went to the same school, you should have the same outcome, even though you have a different input. But if you are already in the zone of loveliness, it is impossible for you to be dragged down to this low level. It's understanding that your uniqueness is your strength. When you stop competing, you start flourishing. And this also transcending to a different part of your life. That takes me to number 2 of unmeasurable richness. Let's look at the inner peace, which I simply define as living simply. So living simply means what to a lot of people? It means inner peace is a real currency. It's a lot of people that you think they are powerful because of their money, asset, political position, or power. But in the mirror, they cannot stay in the room alone. They terrify. They surrounded themselves with people because the noise within themselves, they feel empty. I've had people converse to me during the chat and say They didn't feel anything, or they feel so empty. So it comes from simplifying your life, reducing unnecessary noise, and choosing clarity over chaos. It means being content with enough rather than constantly chasing more. Peace is not passive, it is discipline. And sometimes we think that we need to fight all the fights. We do not learn or know how to choose our battle. We do not know how to let go what thing that doesn't serve us. We do not know what we actually need. We put all our energy to our want. And all these things, it comes from being grounded with ourselves. And we begin to dismantle all the noises that are becoming a distraction to our life. Number 3, self-reliance. Trusting your own judgment without second guessing or undermining yourself. Self-reliance is an emotional independence. You could tolerate different perspectives, but you could choose what is helpful to you right now. You could use your own critical thinking to evaluate any erroneous beliefs you have about a particular situation. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote powerfully about this in his essay, Self-Reliance. He emphasized trusting your inner voice rather than conforming to societal expectations. You know, when something is so giving you that conviction within yourself, others might try to discourage you or pull you away from it. So when you rely on your own principles, you become unshakable. And this is where many people have no work to develop themselves, as they like to be trending. They become, if something sounds popular or have a lot of people follow it, they follow it as well. Sometimes some people will say that's how they do it. And you ask yourself, have they ever asked why they are doing it? The question is they never bother to do so. And then when things are not working, they also don't feel confidence to take responsibility that say, I am responsible for it. They will say, it's not my fault. So number 4, an abundant mindset. So if you don't hear me, let me repeat it. An abundant mindset. What did I mean by this? You're moving from place of scarcity to sufficiency. I can't, I don't really come up from your words. Even when you need 100 and you have 80 and you still able to give 10 to the charity or event that need it most, you are coming from the abundant, not holding back from the 20-30% that is short of what you are looking for. It take abundant mindset to be generous. Because if you have to look everything you need, you don't have everything. So you're always going to not have enough. In order to have enough, you have to also change how you think about the resources. Scarcity said there isn't enough. Abundance said there is more than enough. An abundant mindset begins by appreciating what you already have. Many people miss opportunities that are within reach because they are fixated on distant ones. Gratitude expands perceptions. Perception expands opportunity. you could say two farmers. One see the opportunity on the land, another one didn't see the opportunity in the land. Everything is in their mind. And the one that see the opportunity in the mind is not because the opportunity, they created it. It was 24 years ago that I was reading Microsoft white paper about there will be a time where we not just make a phone call through the landline phone at the time. We'll be making a phone through the computer. Our fridge will be able to speak to our fridge. Our fridge will check what left, so Internet of Things. And then it will go and make an order on our behalf before we get home in the supermarket. As market will do delivery on our doorsteps. There will be a time that we won't need to walk to the bank, that we'll do the banking through our phone. Guess what? 10 years after that white paper, things become to come out with that vision. It's not because it created the world that you wanted to see. And the Africa become the piloting of the mobile banking, while the West were a little bit slow in implementing it because of security. Because of the lack of infrastructure in Africa and the need for the banking to reach rural area of the where people live in each country. Majority of African countries, 70% of the population live in the rural area. Even when you have in urban area where the infrastructure is really poor, just imagine what infrastructure look like in the rural area. So that takes me to number 5, acceptance. Facing life like a champion. And this is where I've seen a lot of people double their pains. They're already suffering from pain, and they continue to resisting the thing that causing them the pain. And it was Buddha that once claimed to say that our suffering is coming from our desire. And it's true, when you desire to get something, your expectation, and it doesn't come, you'll be disappointed. And that is a suffering. So acceptance is not weakness, it is resilience. The most experiences you confront are success, failure, rejection, growth. The sharper your discernment becomes. So, like I said, the more experiences you confront, such as success, failure, rejection, growth, the sharper your discernment becomes. You become to smell the opportunity. You become to identify risk that you shouldn't put yourself into because you are reflecting from your experience, and that experience has become knowledge and wisdom. Acceptance allows you to move forward without bitterness. You forgive, your heart is clean. It's like you clean up your space. You will have more opportunity to bring something more creativity tangible to it. It transforms obstacles into teachers. Once you say this is good thing, it is good, but we don't talk much about it. So what this kind of richness matter? And the question is why this kind of richness matters. It matters because education, status, connections, or even family background do not guarantee unmeasurable richness. Ironically, when cultivated, this internal wealth often becomes the foundations for external success. When you develop peace, clarity, resilience, and abundance internally, guess what? You naturally make better decisions externally. Unquantified richness often opens the floodgate to the measurable kind society obsesses over, but it must be invested in deliberately and consistently. So as I'm bringing this to the end, the real question is, are you willing to invest in the kind of richness that cannot be measured? What are those kind? The kind that does not fluctuate with market, the kind that cannot be taken from you, the kind that define the quality of your existence. Because real wealth begins where numbers end. I hope this message helps someone. If you'd like to write to me, if you'd like to know more about this community, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.